Tyrannosaurus is hunting in a Cretaceous forest when its snout strikes something that should not be there. A metallic structure half buried in the mud that pulses with light on contact. The forest goes dark like a screen. When the light returns, everything is changed. The air is so cold it hurts to breathe. The ground is hard as stone and covered in white. The plants are gone. The sounds are gone. A wind that cuts through skin is stealing heat from its body with every second that passes. 66 million years into the future, the most lethal predator in history has just landed in the worst possible place for an animal like it. The Ice Age. No feathers, no fur, no shelter, and no idea that it only has 72 hours left to live. Hour zero. The T-Rex stands on frozen ground for the first time in evolutionary history. Its feet, built for warm river plains and soft forest floors, press into permafrost harder than concrete. The air temperature is minus 15 degrees Celsius. The wind chill pushes it to minus 30. Its body temperature sits at approximately 33 degrees Celsius, similar to a modern bird. It is warm-blooded. Its metabolism generates heat, but it was never designed to retain it. No fur, no feathers, no subcutaneous fat layer. 8 tons of exposed muscle and scale bleeding heat into the atmosphere like an engine with no hood. 165 million years of evolution, and not a single generation prepared this animal for the sensation of cold. It turns its head. The machine is gone. The forest is gone. The warm Cretaceous air that filled its lungs for every breath of its existence is gone. There is only white. An endless, flat, frozen steppe stretching to every horizon under a sky the color of iron. The T-Rex opens its jaws and roars. The sound rolls across the empty plain and dies in the wind. Nothing answers. Nothing runs. Nothing reacts. In the Cretaceous, that roar scattered herds and silenced forests. Here, the wind swallows it like it was never made. It begins to walk, not toward anything, away from the confusion. Each step crunches through a layer of frozen snow its brain cannot categorize. Not mud, not water, not rock. Something in between that collapses under its weight and grabs at its ankles. Its legs were designed to cover ground at 35 kilometers per hour on flat terrain. On this surface, it manages 15. Every step costs more energy than it should. Hour 1. The T-Rex's body is already responding to the cold. Involuntary muscle contractions begin along its flanks. Shivering, the most basic thermoregulatory response in any warm-blooded animal. When core temperature drops, the body burns energy to produce heat through rapid muscle movement. But shivering in an 8-ton animal is a catastrophic waste of calories. The T-Rex burns approximately 40,000 calories per day just to exist. In this cold, with this level of muscular activity, that number doubles. 80,000 calories per day, the equivalent of eating an entire adult bison every 6 hours. And it has not eaten since the Cretaceous. In the distance, something moves. Large shapes against the white horizon. The T-Rex's vision, evolved to detect motion in dense forest at 300 meters, locks on instantly. A herd of woolly mammoths is crossing the steppe. 12 individuals, 6 adults, each weighing 6 tons, covered in a double layer of fur over 10 centimeters of insulating fat. Their blood contains a natural antifreeze protein that keeps it flowing at temperatures that would crystallize the blood of any reptile. They have small ears to minimize heat loss, short tails for the same reason. Every feature of their anatomy is a solution to the cold. They were built for this world the way the T-Rex was built for its. The T-Rex watches them move. Something ancient fires in its brain. Prey. Large, slow prey. It changes direction and begins to follow. Hour 2. The T-Rex closes the distance to 300 meters. The mammoth herd has detected it. Not by sight, by vibration. Mammoths can sense footsteps through the ground using nerve receptors in their feet, the same way modern elephants do. An 8-ton biped striking frozen earth sends vibrations that travel for nearly a kilometer. The matriarch stops. She raises her trunk and trumpets a warning that drops an octave below what the T-Rex can hear. The herd reshapes. Calves move to the center. Adults form a semicircle with tusks facing outward. 4 meters of curved ivory on each animal, hardened by years of digging through frozen ground. The T-Rex charges. Even diminished by cold, even slowed by unfamiliar terrain, a charging Tyrannosaurus is one of the most violent events in the natural world. 12 meters of predator accelerating across the plain, jaws open to their full gape, capable of generating 8,000 pounds of fight force. Enough to puncture steel. Enough to crush the skull of any animal that ever lived. The matriarch does not retreat. She lowers her head and drives forward. 6 tons of mammoth meets 8 tons of dinosaur. The tusks catch the T-Rex across the chest, and the impact lifts the predator's front legs off the ground. The T-Rex staggers sideways, stunned. In the Cretaceous, nothing hit back with this kind of mass. Triceratops had horns, but Triceratops charged in straight lines, weighed half what this mammoth weighs. The mammoth pivots with a speed that should be impossible for an animal its size and swings again. The second impact sends the T-Rex stumbling backward through the snow. The herd closes ranks tighter. The calves do not make a sound. The adults do not blink. This is not their first predator. They have survived cave lions, packs of dire wolves, short-faced bears the size of trucks. A single attacker, no matter how large, is a problem they solved millions of years ago. The T-Rex circles once, twice, looking for a gap that does not exist. Its chest is bruised. Its skin is torn where the tusk connected. Blood runs down the scales and freezes almost instantly in the cold air. Dark red ice forming on gray skin. The T-Rex turns and walks away. The mammoths watch it go. They do not follow. They do not need to. They know this predator will not survive the night. Hour 6. The sun drops below the glacial shelf and the temperature falls to minus 25 degrees. The T-Rex's body is now a battlefield between two forces. Its metabolism is generating heat as fast as it can, burning through fat reserves and glycogen at a rate that would kill a smaller animal in hours. But the cold is pulling heat out through every square centimeter of uninsulated skin. It is a war of physics, and physics does not care about evolutionary pedigree. The T-Rex finds a shallow valley carved by ancient meltwater and lies down, pressing its body against the frozen earth. It curls its tail around its legs and tucks its small arms against its chest. This is not learned behavior. No Tyrannosaurus has ever needed to conserve heat. This is the body's last autonomous response when temperature regulation begins to fail. reduce surface area, minimize exposure. It is the same thing a dog does when it curls into a ball on a cold night, except this dog weighs 8 tons and has no coat. The sky clears. Stars appear in numbers that no modern human has ever seen, unpolluted by any light source on the planet. The temperature drops further, -30. The moisture in the T-Rex's breath crystallizes the moment it leaves its nostrils, forming a thin layer of frost on its snout that grows thicker with every exhale. It is breathing out its own body heat and watching it freeze in front of its face. Somewhere in the darkness, shapes are moving, low to the ground, fast, coordinated. A pack of dire wolves has picked up the scent of blood from the chest wound. 12 animals, each one 60 kilograms of muscle, teeth, and patience. They are not going to attack an 8-ton predator. They do not need to. They have evolved alongside the cold for 2 million years, and they know exactly what it does. They know that every hour that passes makes the prey weaker and the wait shorter. They form a loose perimeter and sit. Some sleep. They are in no hurry. The Pleistocene is patient, and so are they. Hour 12. The T-Rex has not eaten in 12 hours. In the Cretaceous, this would be uncomfortable. In the Pleistocene, at -28 degrees, it is an emergency. Its body is consuming itself. Fat reserves that took weeks to build are being incinerated to maintain a core temperature that is already dropping. Muscle tissue is beginning to break down as the body searches for any source of fuel. The metabolic furnace is running out of wood and has started burning the furniture. It forces itself to stand. Every joint resists. The cold has thickened the synovial fluid in its knees, its hips, its ankles. Movements that were explosive in the Cretaceous are now labored, deliberate, slow. It sees a herd of steppe bison half a kilometer away. 800 kilograms each. Fast, agile, built for sprinting on frozen ground with hooves designed to grip ice. The T-Rex needs food so desperately that it charges anyway. The bison see it coming from 400 meters away. They scatter at 50 kilometers per hour, changing direction with a precision the T-Rex cannot match. Its feet slide on the ice. Its tail swings wide to compensate. It chases one bison for 200 meters before its legs buckle and it crashes to its knees on the frozen ground, chest heaving, lungs burning with cold air that feels like swallowing glass. The bison stops 100 meters ahead, looks back for 3 seconds, and trots away. The T-Rex has just burned more calories chasing prey than it would have gained from catching it. This is the equation that ends every predator that cannot adapt. When the cost of hunting exceeds the reward of the kill, the animal is already dead. It just has not stopped moving yet. Hour 18. The second night arrives, and it is worse than the first. The temperature plunges to -32 degrees. The T-Rex's core temperature has dropped 3 degrees below its baseline. In a warm-blooded animal, a 3-degree drop triggers a cascade of failures that feed on each other. Muscles contract slower. Nerves fire slower. The heart pumps less efficiently, which delivers less warm blood to the extremities, which cool faster, which forces the heart to work harder, which burns more energy that does not exist. It is a spiral with only one direction. The T-Rex smells something that triggers every predatory instinct it has. Meat. Fresh meat. 200 meters away, a mammoth calf has been killed by a cave lion and abandoned when a larger predator arrived to claim the carcass. Arctodus simus, the short-faced bear. 900 kilograms, 3.6 meters tall on its hind legs, the fastest bear that ever lived, capable of running at 65 kilometers per hour despite weighing as much as a small car. It stands over the dead calf, stripping meat from the rib cage with claws the length of human fingers. The T-Rex approaches. Every cell in its body is screaming for calories. In the Cretaceous, this bear would have been nothing. A single bite, a single shake of the head, and 900 kilograms of mammal would be food. But this is not the Cretaceous. The T-Rex is cold, slow, and running on empty. The bear rises on its hind legs and roars. The sound is deep, guttural, and carries a warning that transcends species and time. The T-Rex hesitates. Its muscles are too stiff for a fast strike. Its reaction time is half of what it was 12 hours ago. A fight now means injury, and injury in this cold is a death sentence. For the first time in 165 million years of Tyrannosaurus evolution, the apex predator backs away from the meal. Not because it met something stronger, because the cold has already taken what made it strong. Hour 24, one full day in the Ice Age. The T-Rex has consumed nothing. Its body temperature has dropped 4 degrees below baseline. Its movements are visibly degraded. The massive tail that once swung with enough force to shatter bone now drags through the snow, carving a trench behind the animal like a plow. Its jaw opens and closes in small, reflexive spasms, a neurological response to hypothermia that serves no survival function. The most powerful jaws in the history of terrestrial life, snapping at cold air. The dire wolves have grown bolder. They are 20 meters closer than they were 6 hours ago. They have been joined by more. 20 wolves now, sitting in a loose arc behind the T-Rex, tracking its path through the snow without effort. They can see the trench the tail is leaving. They can see the footprints are shallower, which means the legs are lifting less, which means the muscles are failing. They have seen this 100 times with mammoths, with rhinos, with any animal the cold is dismantling. The pattern is always the same. Slow down, stop eating, stop moving, lie down, do not get up. In the Cretaceous, the T-Rex had no natural enemies. Nothing stalked it. Nothing waited for it to weaken. Nothing followed it for days, knowing the end was inevitable. Here, everything does. The Pleistocene did not create predators that overpower their prey. It created predators that outweighed them. Hour 30. Dawn breaks gray and flat over the steppe. The temperature climbs to minus 18 degrees, the warmest it has been since the T-Rex arrived. It does not matter. The damage is done. The T-Rex lies against a rocky outcrop, the only windbreak it has found in 30 hours of walking. Its feet have lost sensation. Frostbite has killed the tissue in its toes, freezing the cells from the outside in, rupturing them with ice crystals that its body has no mechanism to repair. Cold damage was never a possibility in the world that built this animal. Evolution does not solve problems that do not exist. A herd of woolly rhinoceros walks past within 40 meters. Each one weighs 2 tons, covered in thick fur, armed with a horn that can puncture the door of a car. They see the T-Rex. They keep walking. They do not alter their path by a single degree. An apex predator reduced to a landmark. The T-Rex watches them pass with eyes that are losing focus. Its nictitating membranes, the inner eyelids that once protected its vision during a kill, are flickering open and closed irregularly. Another neurological symptom of advancing hypothermia. The brain is rationing energy, shutting down non-essential functions to protect the core. Vision clarity is non-essential. Eyelid control is non-essential. In a few more hours, motor function will be non-essential. Then breathing. Hour 36. The T-Rex has stopped moving. It lies curled against the rock, its body as compact as its anatomy allows. Its breathing is shallow and slow, 12 breaths per minute, down from its normal 25. Its heart rate has dropped to match. Less blood is moving through the body. Less heat is being distributed. The extremities, the tail, the arms, the feet, are approaching ambient temperature. They are becoming part of the landscape. A Smilodon fatalis approaches from the east, 280 kilograms of saber-toothed precision. 18-centimeter canines evolved to sever arteries in a single strike. Forelimbs stronger than those of any living cat. In the Cretaceous, the T-Rex would have swallowed this animal whole. Here, now, the Smilodon walks to within 8 meters and sits down in the snow. It is not hunting. It is evaluating. Smilodon has never seen a dinosaur, but it reads the language of dying as fluently as any predator that has ever lived. The slow breathing, the unfocused eyes, the complete absence of threat response. This animal is ending. The Smilodon can wait. A second Smilodon arrives, then a third. They sit in a triangle around the T-Rex, each one watching from a different angle. They are not pack animals. Smilodon hunts alone or in pairs, but when a carcass this large is becoming available, competition suspends protocol. They will wait, and when the breathing stops, they will eat. Hour 48, 2 full days. The T-Rex has not eaten, has not found water that is not frozen solid, has not slept in any meaningful way. Sleep requires a minimum core temperature to initiate REM cycles. The T-Rex's core temperature is now 6 degrees below baseline. REM sleep is no longer possible. Its brain has been awake for 48 consecutive hours while its body systematically shuts down around it. This is a form of suffering that evolution did not anticipate because the scenario was never supposed to exist. Its muscles have begun to atrophy, not from disuse, from consumption. The body has exhausted its fat reserves and is now metabolizing its own muscle tissue for energy. The 8-ton frame that was its greatest weapon has become its greatest burden. Every kilogram of mass requires calories to maintain. Every square centimeter of uninsulated skin radiates heat into the void. The Tyrannosaurus rex is being eaten alive by its own size. The dire wolf pack has grown to 24. They no longer sit behind the T-Rex. They surround it in a full circle at a distance of 15 meters. Some are lying down. Some are grooming. One is nursing pups she brought from the den because she knows this will not take much longer. The wolves of the Pleistocene do not kill large animals. The cold kills large animals. The wolves just collect what the cold leaves behind. Hour 60. The T-Rex's core temperature has fallen below 25 degrees Celsius. This is the threshold beyond which sustained organ function becomes impossible. The heart is beating in irregular rhythms. The lungs are operating at half capacity. Frost has formed on the scales of its face, a thin white mask that grows thicker with each shallow breath. The great animal has not moved in 6 hours. Its eyes are open, but they are not seeing. The pupils are fixed and dilated, a sign that the brain is no longer processing visual input in any meaningful way. The body is alive. The predator is not. A Pleistocene blizzard rolls in from the north. The temperature drops below -40 degrees. The wind accelerates to 90 kilometers per hour, driving ice crystals horizontally across the steppe like a sandblaster made of glass. The dire wolves retreat to their dens. The smilodons disappear into crevices between rocks. The mammoths turn their backs to the wind and press together, sharing body heat through fur so dense that snow accumulates on their backs without melting. Every animal on this steppe knows what a Pleistocene blizzard means. Every animal has a strategy for surviving it. Every animal except one. The T-Rex lies motionless as the snow buries it, layer after layer, each flake absorbing what little heat remains in its skin. The wind howls above it at frequencies that sound like something screaming. Somewhere beneath the snow, the heart beats slower, then slower, then slower. Hour 72. The storm has passed. The steppe is silent. The sky is white. The wind is gone. Where the T-Rex was lying, there was a mound of snow shaped like something that does not belong to this era. The curve of a spine, the ridge of a skull, the tip of a tail. Everything else is buried, frozen solid. 8 tons of the most powerful predator the Mesozoic era ever produced, preserved in ice like a specimen in a jar. The dire wolves return first. They dig with paws designed to move frozen earth. Then the smilodons, using those saber teeth to tear through frozen hide that no living animal could bite through when it was warm. Then ravens, small, black, intelligent birds that are the direct descendants of the very dinosaurs the T-Rex once ruled. They land on the mound and pick at what the larger predators leave behind. In the Cretaceous, these birds' ancestors lived in the shadow of Tyrannosaurs. Here, 66 million years later, they are eating one. The T-Rex did not fail because it was weak. It was the most powerful land predator in the history of life on Earth. Jaws that could crush a car, a body that shook the ground with every step, a lineage that dominated the planet for 165 million years. It failed because power is not transferable across time. Evolution does not build invincible animals. It builds animals that are perfect for their moment. And the moment had passed. 66 million years of it. The mammals that watched it die, the mammoths, the wolves, the bears, the cats, had spent those 66 million years evolving solutions to every problem the cold could create. Fur, fat, antifreeze blood, pack strategies, denning behavior, migration patterns. 66 million years of answers to a question the T-Rex had never been asked. And when it was finally asked, in the worst classroom on Earth, it had no answer at all. The greatest predator that ever lived lasted 72 hours in a world it was never meant to see. Not because the world was stronger, because the world was different. And in evolution, different is the only thing that kills. The cold did not even notice.